And it's another day in paradise here in Rio de Janeiro, and I've woken up today to view the sunrise over the Copacabana beach at the Copacabana. And it's my last time here in south Rio de Janeiro. I'm heading up north later today, cap off my time here by viewing the Maracana. There's some trumpets being played behind me. So I am now outside the Maracana. I think I'm on the opposite side to the main entrance, and this is a statue of Bellini, a statue of Bellini, the captain of the 1958 World Cup winning team, where they won against the host Sweden. I believe that's as far as Sweden have ever got in the 1958 World Cup, and they won 3-1 where Pelé scored that famous goal where he chipped the defender before putting it away. And this statue here is based on access D of the Maracana, and you can see if I take the sun out of it, Brazil 1958 to 1962, the World Cup holders. And here I am at the main entrance of the Maracana, the famous Brazilian football stadium. First impressions, it gives me a sort of reminiscence of the San Siro. Obviously this one's circular, a completely different shape to the rectangular San Siro, but in terms of the large stone blocks and the old feel about it, it's kind of similar in that way. It's sort of an industrial area as well. There's main roads surrounding the whole stadium. It looks very big on first impressions, which it is, because... Okay, so the security man has just told me not to pass these cones behind me. I'm not sure if I caught it on camera. He's telling me to leave now, so I'll continue my video on the outside. So I've left now, over the line in the public area. Maracana is famous for Pelé making his debut as a Brazilian footballer, and he also scored his 1,000th goal here, and he also played his last game here at the Maracana. This is the main road behind it, and it looks like there's sort of a favela in the distance as well. I can see two people have turned up in a sort of Uber taxi. They might just keep an eye out and see if they pay to get past the security. Either the security was kind to me or he was unkind to me. If he was kind to me, it's because you have to pay just to get past this first gate here. And if he was unkind to me, it's because you don't usually have to pay to get past this first gate here. And you have to pay when you get into the main building, in which case he was unkind to me. But I don't know what the case is, so I'm going to see what some of these people do when they enter now. I've got my serviette out again today. It's 37 degrees, would you believe it, in Rio de Janeiro. Let's have a look what happens. He's directing them around the stadium, I'm not sure why. My serviette is actually wet, so it's kind of giving me a cooling sensation as well. I didn't plan for it to be wet, but it is because I didn't have enough time to dry it when I left my last accommodation. All of the people who have just arrived have just been sent away for one reason or another. So I'm just going to continue my walk around the stadium. I've walked around one side of it, I'm going to continue my walk around the other side. Okay, so I did follow that group of potentially tourists, and it turns out they were going in the disabled entrance to the stadium, so that explains why they were sent around this side. Just as I've walked a bit further, there seems to be some sort of rundown stand here for viewing some kind of sporting activity, I presume. And there also seems to be a decent view of the Maracana through these bars. So I'm just going to turn my camera around and see if I can shoot it. There's the old stand, there's nothing here, and there is the Maracana. Now, of course, I forgot to mention the most recent famous use of the Maracana for the Olympics in 2016, but probably more importantly, the 2014 World Cup final, which I had to hark my mind back to because it was a bit of a bore fest. And it was when Germany beat Argentina 1-0. Mario Götze came on as a substitute in extra time and won the game. Lots of people blaming Higuain for missing the sitter for Argentina and failing Messi, but I've seen a lot of people forget to mention that Messi actually dragged one to the keeper's left, I'm pretty sure, which was a pretty good opportunity as well. Also around this area is a volleyball stadium, which was used in the 2016 Rio Olympics. And there's also a swimming pool as well. I'm not sure whether it was used in the Olympics, it doesn't really look big enough to me. And I don't think I've ever felt this before. I'm walking in the shadow. It's so hot, I can actually start to feel my feet sticking, like almost like my Crocs are sort of melting slightly, sticking to my feet. There's also quite a nice poster, sign, monument of Marta, probably the most famous Brazilian female football player, and probably the most famous female football player. She's probably the only female football player that I knew of going back sort of 10-15 years, and you can see her achievements here. Unfortunately, she never won a World Cup, and that is pretty much everything for me in Rio de Janeiro. I don't know if I actually mentioned, but this morning when I walked back from the Copacabana sunrise, I had a swim in Ipanema Beach. The waves are really quite strong there, so for example, when I was swimming 10 metres out, I'd be about 10 metres out at sea, and then the wave would come in and drag me all the way back to shore, almost as though I'm not actually swimming anymore, and then I'd have to go back swimming again, which is quite exciting because I could sort of dive through the waves. Obviously didn't record that because I didn't want my phone to be stolen. But yeah, I've really enjoyed Rio de Janeiro, probably one of my favourite places so far, no doubt about it. Slightly too hot for my liking, but better that than cold.